The Pokemon TCG has done a lot of things lately to generate hype and make the experience of opening packs just feel better. But there's one glaring weakness in what they've been doing print-wise, and we're going to talk about it right now. Of course, we're talking about really terrible, nasty, disgusting, non-existent pull rates. It's just really bad taste when you go to the store, Walmart, Target, your child is super excited. Maybe it was an impulse buy. I think I'm going to pick up this ETB because I haven't opened cards in a while. And you take it home just to find 8 white code cards of trash, not even a holographic inside. Has that ever happened to you, Nate?
Countless times. With ETBs, it feels like especially. But I mean, collection boxes, single packs, 3-pack. I mean, it's happened in just about every product I've opened. And to be honest, it kind of feels like it is happening a little bit more often than it used to. I don't know. Maybe that's just how I feel. But it's happening a lot.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. And my biggest concern, honestly, is new collectors, right? New collectors to the TCG, or even kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, someone gets some ETB, some collection boxes, things like that for a grandson or a son for their birthday, maybe 6 years old to 9 years old. Super excited. They're like, oh my gosh, first time I've ever had Pokemon cards. I've heard about these things. They seem really, really dope. And then open it up and absolutely nothing inside. Maybe get one holographic. Maybe the best card is that Dragonite holo with the terrible Generation 8 holo pattern, which really, really needs to be updated and changed. Looking forward to that.
100%.
But I can really, why would that kid want more Pokemon cards, Or why would that lapsed fan who grabbed a Infernape collection box just out the way in the door because Infernape was their favorite Pokemon 15 years ago, 20 years ago. So like, hey, that looks pretty cool. I'm going to grab that and pick it up. And the only thing inside is the Infernape V promo card itself. Why would they come back?
Yeah. Like, I mean, if I was in their shoes and, I was somebody that, didn't frequently buy Pokemon cards, I guess just kind of thinking back, like when I first started, if that was something that was happening to me, I probably wouldn't be here sitting talking to you right now. Like I said, it feels like it's been happening more often. So when I got back in at the beginning of the Sword and Shield, things were still very new to me. I didn't know a whole lot about like pull rates and things like that. So, maybe that could be a factor in it as well. They just don't know as much as we know about pull rates, or at least we think we know about pull rates. But yeah, especially with like an ETB, right? It's $40, $50 if you're buying a special set. And to come home, open it up, be super excited about it, and only get the holos, or maybe just one V or something like that out of 8 or 10 packs.
Yeah.
It hurts. It hurts extra because you're like, well, now I'm totally out of all that money, and I feel like I got maybe $2.50 worth of cards out of it. It's not a good feeling. I feel for those collectors
and prices
that
have gone up
aren't
too.
like us.
That's like prices
true.
have gone up. To get an ETB at Target or Walmart now, it's $45 minimum, and I think Myers even more than that. So like that is with other things, inflation. You can't go to the grocery store anymore without spending $300. So I feel you need to have a more rewarding experience when buying cards. You got to give people a reason to come back. Now, I'm not talking about like, oh, you need to make the Lugia alternate art more common. I love the fact that the alternate arts are hard to pull. I'm completely fine having a extraordinarily rare, expensive chase card. I actually prefer it. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about the sheer amount of booster packs that have regular rares inside. Now, I do know that I almost feel like they created the trainer gallery because they knew that they were going to be destroying pull rates on the rest of these cards. I really do. Like, literally, pull rates on a standard V card is like 1 in 5 packs, 1 in 6 packs, which you might think to yourself, that's really not that bad. But when you think a 3-pack blister is basically $15 now after tax, that means you got to buy 2 of them to have a decent chance at just pulling a standard V card. Like, that's insane. That's $30.
Yeah.
You're telling me I got to go to the store and spend at least $30 on Pokemon cards? Like, back in the day, you would freak out when you got that holo. You know what I mean? Just like that one holo card, and they were quite a bit more common than what you would find. I'm not saying V cards are super rare or anything, but it needs to feel more rewarding with every single purchase as money gets stiffer and stiffer for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, I was just thinking there, another thing that I think, could change, and it's not something that's necessarily like, Pokemon definitely doesn't say anything about it, but, I feel like, first wave products do always have the better pull rates, right? Like, hands down, I can't tell you how many times like I've opened up a booster box from first wave and then waited till like second or even third wave and opened up the same type of booster box and it be 100% different of an experience. So I think like that could be something that they could look at changing for sure, because I know a lot of times too, the types of collectors that we're talking about here, the ones that, maybe only open up one ETV per set or something like that, those aren't necessarily the people that are, out there on release day, scrounging up all the stores trying to find product and things like that. They're usually the people that are waiting, a month or two and then going out and getting that ETB. Then at that point, it's, maybe second or third wave.
And there's going to be nothing.
And then their pull rates are even worse,
And I know there's no concrete evidence about that. And nobody has ever been like, oh, it's not true. Like, it's totally true. Take it from the people that open a lot more cards than most people. It's 1,000% true. I don't care what anybody says. Just because Pokemon Company hasn't stated it, and maybe your experience is a little bit different. I opened so many cards, and you cannot convince me that the first round of Evolving Skies was at least 5 times better than this new round of Evolving Skies. Like, this new round of Evolving Skies is the most brutal pull rates that I have ever experienced, and I opened Unbroken Bonds, okay? And people used to complain about Unbroken Bonds. That was nothing compared to what we're doing on the second, third wave of Evolving Skies. Like, absolutely brutal. So, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, just to piggyback off of that, if you guys didn't see, I did a live probably 2 or 3 weeks ago or so now, maybe a month ago now, where I opened up an Evolving Skies booster box. And at that point, it was probably a third wave or fourth wave. It was
the most
by
recent
no means
wave
a first
for sure.
wave box. Yeah, and I think I got less than 10 pulls. I did get out of there with the secret rare somehow.
And how did your Silver Tempest boxes look on Saturday?
Fantastic. Well, one didn't have any secret rares, but it had plenty of other awesome cards in it.
Like,
but my second one had 2 secret rares.
Yeah, you had 2 secret rares in one, and the other one had 2 full arts, and I think maybe even like a full art trainer or something like that, or was it trainer gallery or something?
Like trainer gallery, full art, yeah. So like by far, like way better. I think I counted out like, with Radiance and stuff like that, not counting any of the holos. I think it was like 15 to 17 hits in both boxes each. So it was like by far way better. And I can guarantee you that when I go out and get a, Silver Tempest booster box a month from now, it's not going to be anywhere near that. Not anywhere near close.
Yeah. So I want to ask you a question, right? Because one of the things that I think that they could do, they've dabbled in before, and they do this quite a bit with like the Japanese cards, right? With these high class boxes that they sell. How do you feel about sets like Shining Legends, Pokemon Go, Champion's Path, where you get a holographic card in every single pack? Do you find that more fulfilling? Do you find that less fulfilling? Like, what are your thoughts on a holo in every pack?
It feels good in the beginning, when the set first comes out, right? Because you're like, oh, okay, there's at least a holo in there. It doesn't feel like a total bust. But immediately when this gets brought up, I think back to Champion's Path and the amount of Champion's Path that I opened, the amount of holo Machamps that I have. I could probably fill a whole like ETB with just the holo Machamps that I have. It loses its, luster really, really quick. With me at least. Now for somebody who's just a casual collector, I think it's awesome because
That's
you
where
get
I
some
was gonna
shine
go.
in your box.
That's where I
And,
was gonna
that's
go,
where,
man. You're taking my
that's what
part.
you're looking for. Oh, sorry.
No, you're
sorry.
fine.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah.
But yeah. So for someone like the casual collector, 100%, I think that's a great idea. Because again, like I said, when it was first opening up Champion's Path, that was the first set that I experienced where you get a holo in every set. It did make me feel good. That I didn't feel like it was a total bust. Until about the 30th double LV box.
Yeah. I think when you're thinking about casual collectors and children maybe getting product, for Christmas, for their birthday and things like that, I think holos in every pack is huge for that sort of a thing. Obviously, holos in every pack is not going to fix any issues that big time hardcore collectors like us, it's not going to make us feel any better. It's not going to put us in a better state about a particular set because there's a holo in every pack. Not gonna lie, I still get a little excited when I get the Charizard holo from Pokemon Go, right?
Oh,
it's
sure.
just like, hey, sweet.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Now, something that I think they tried that, in my opinion at least, has failed miserably is the reverse holos. I don't think the reverse holos do that, quote unquote, like you said, put some shine in your pack. I don't think reverse holos do anything for anybody. I really don't. So
no. It's a filler.
I have an idea that I think would be really, really cool, and I would like your thoughts on this, to replace reverse holos and make opening booster packs feel more exciting, maybe give them a little more gumption. And I would go with something, and it's kind of similar to the trainer gallery now, okay? I would go something that I would call, and in Magic does this, an extended art, right? An extended art where you can get the Star Me with, or let's just say Star U, right? With a common card, a Star U, with a pretty sweet background, right? Like it's on the beach, hanging out, that sort of a thing. But then you get to see the rest of the artwork as well. So you take it out of that square. You got the regular common card that's in the square like it always is, and then you just take it out of that square, and you can see maybe there's a Pyukamuku back there, maybe there's a Quaxley swimming in the water, and you can see more extension of artwork. Maybe its trainer is next to it and things like that. And then you also create just a better holo pattern around it, a different holo pattern around it. But I would put that in every single pack as well, right?
Yeah.
You get the guaranteed holo, and then you also get an extended art card in every single pack, replacing the reverse holos, because reverse holos just aren't doing it anymore. And trainer gallery is good, but I don't really just want to bring like a trainer gallery to every single pack. I just don't know if that would have the effect that I'm looking for. I'm not sure that would give the justice of, oh, here's these trainer galleries that we've been working on, and you can get one in every pack. What does it actually mean? I like having the color, I like having you can't really see that. There we go. I like having the blue background, and all that stuff. Like, I still like that. That's what makes it feel like a Pokemon card. So I would keep that, but I would extend the art all the way through. Like, what do you think about that?
Yeah. Absolutely love that idea. Because, I've seen it, like fan artwork all the time. You see it on Instagram all the time, or TikTok, where somebody, throws the card on the table, and then you see like their palette of paint come out, and then you're like, okay, it's one of these videos, and they start painting all over it, right? Pokemon gave us a taste of that in Celebrations with the full art, old school Pikachu that literally was in just about every opening of Celebrations you could do. And I think that is fantastic. Taking a card that we already have in the set and extending out that art, I think is way better than a reverse card, because you're right, like reverses don't do anything. And I feel like if you put them in every single pack, like you're saying, that feels way better to, not saying to make it easier, right? Because it wouldn't be easier if you're putting them in every pack to get a master set. But man, would it feel way more cooler to have that master set with all extended arts in it than just some reverse holos that, honestly, sometimes it's kind of hard to tell if it's a reverse holo. Like if it's a dark type Pokemon, I always have trouble seeing the reverse holo on that. So yeah, something where it is totally different like that. I think, you're talking like that. I think that'll even like increase value of sets when you're looking at a whole page of extended art cards. Like, oh yeah, that would just look absolutely beautiful. And get rid of those yellow borders on them too. Do something different about that, because then I just don't think it would look that great. Like if you could extend it out and like have no borders on those cards, Ooh, I think
that
would
would
look awesome.
be those would be like massive chase cards, in my opinion, at that point, if you're getting rid of the yellow border.
Right?
And you can even mix it up. You can make a holo version, a non-holo version, to where, getting that extended art Pikachu in the holo version might feel a lot better, Like, it's just all kinds of things. And I said this before, too. I would change the holo in the regular holo. We need to get rid of this. We're just going to put this little shiny film over the background, because that's all they're doing right now. I liked some of my favorite holographics were actually from like Evolutions, where they just had that really bright, sparkly, like firework-esque, like just so bright and shiny to where you knew without a shadow of a freaking doubt that this was a holographic card. It was almost like they just did a better job on the vintage holos. It was just a better job. They beefed up the vintage base set holos and Evolutions and made the holo look better. Do that again. Make it stand out more, because, again, like you said, it doesn't even just happen with the reverse holos. It happens with the regular holos, too. Sometimes I pull a card and I'm like, that's a holographic? Seriously? I didn't even know. Like, what? Like, that's a holo? Like, look at this Dragonite right here. My green screen's going to ruin it. I knew it. But, like, it is so barely, like, holographic. Like, I got to get the light to hit it just right so you can tell. Just right. Like, it's just...
Not to mention the horrible holographic pattern we've had this whole entire era.
Ugh, I'm so sick of it. Sick of it.
I'm done with that. Like, prison bar holographics. I don't know what to call it.
The prison bar. I like that, though. The prison bar holo.
Oh, man.
But yeah, and this is the last things that I would do here. I know I'm the one coming up with all the ideas. Sorry, you're just my you're my reaction. Okay, you go.
I'm ready to go.
You go with your chambered one, and then I will shit all over it and then give you mine. I'm just kidding. Cool.
So,
but you go in.
So, I would love if they could take, some pointers from all of our friends over in Japan and how they do Pokemon in Japan, Pokemon cards over there. And I would, honestly, I would love to see some, not completely, but some more mapping of any box. Honestly, it doesn't. They always say there's no mapping, right, in any of the English boxes that we get. Even though, like, booster boxes, you can kind of expect, to get, at least one secret rare, decent amount of cards, usually 10 to 15 hits, right, out of a box. But really, no other product really has that feel where you kind of have that guarantee. And I feel like, if they put that, little bit of a guarantee, or even put like on all the Japanese packs, they have like, what the hit rates actually could be for you, of each level, common, uncommon, rare, hyper rare, secret rare. It tells you, right on the pack, kind of what your chances are. So maybe even like a small step like that, just to like make it more known, like, hey, you're probably going to lose on this box. Maybe people will stay away from, stuff, bigger, higher priced items and not be as, upset about it. But I think, like I said, mapping some of the boxes out where you feel like you're guaranteed a little bit of something, I definitely think can help, especially with new collectors. Because going back to how, what we were talking about in the beginning, you get 0 hits. Like, why do you want to go out and buy another pack?
Yep. No, I agree with you. Your resolution is a lot more realistic than mine. I'm like, we are fundamentally changing Pokemon card collecting at its core right now. and you're like, can we just like spread the cards out a little more? Which, way more realistic, but I agree with you 1,000%. If you can guarantee me that I'm going to get at least 2 ultra rares inside of an ETB, it would make me feel a lot better about buying it. And like you said, booster boxes are more consistent, but you just opened a box that didn't have a secret rare. You're not guaranteed a secret rare.
Right.
Yes, you did get an extra full art. Maybe you got the extra, ultra rare trainer gallery card. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To make up for it. But that does tell you that they do have a little bit of mapping inside of the booster boxes that just doesn't exist for ETBs, 3-pack blisters. For God's sake, the UPC, Charizard UPCs, where nothing was in those whatsoever.
No, they mapped all of the white and green or white codes right into there.
I think they weighed them. They did a whole Fairfield Company M&J Holdings actions
with their,
on us.
Scales and everything.
The last thing that I want to talk about that I think would be pretty cool, and I want your thoughts on, is I would make ultra rares more common as well. I'm talking about the standard ultra rare. The upcoming EX card, the standard V card, maybe even like the V Max card, instead of a V card being 1 in every 6 packs, let's make it 1 in every 2 packs. You get a V card or an EX card. Maybe 1 in every 2 packs you get an EX card, 1 every 6 packs you get a Terra card, something along those lines. It would just feel better opening booster packs that way, on top of getting the extended arts and getting the guaranteed holo. I feel like, my thoughts are they're definitely fundamentally changing the way Pokemon is as a collectible. But I feel like you wouldn't have to worry about things like mapping if every other pack had an ultra rare, if there was an extended art and a holographic in every single pack. At that point, it just comes down to, I want the Charizard, I want the Blastoise instead of the holographic Scolipede, So I don't think mapping would really be necessary at that point, because you'd get the same amount of holos in every box, the same amount of extended arts in every box, and roughly the same amount of ultra rares in every box, and you wouldn't just end up empty-handed. What do you think about that, making the ultra rares a little bit more common? But before you answer, I would keep the big hits very, very rare, and I would even create an even more rare card that still gives the hardcore collector a chase, right? People hate talking about number cards. I really wouldn't add number cards unless, because they just sell so many. It's not like sports, Sports is strange. They say, oh, this is 1 out of 99, but then they have 10 different variants of that 99, and it's like, okay, well, this black one is 99, the red one's 99, the blue one's 99, but it's all the same damn card. So it's really not that numbered at the end of the day. But just keeping the chase cards extraordinarily rare and just making everything else just feel better, opening more ultra rares, more EXs, more extended arts, more holos, things like that.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. Because even though I've pulled that Galarian Berserker or that Drapion V card, probably 25 times, it feels way better pulling that than it does a non-holo or a holo. It does. All day, any day, I would much rather have that. So yes, I am down for that. I would go as far to say that I think we should increase the amount of increase the hit rate. Had to think about that one. Mm-hmm. Increase the hit rate of some of those top cards. Not a crazy amount, right? Not to where it's like, you're gonna get an Altart or whatever that may be in the next generation out of every 25 packs.
One per box is,
right.
Make it one a case,
little bit, right?
There's a saying in the sports community called case hit. Give us a case hit and make that case hit an alternate art.
Something like that, where it was just like going kind of back to my mapping, right? You have a case hit there. In those 6 booster boxes, you're going to have one of those top cards of the set. You don't know which one it's going to be or whatever, but that I think would change things in a very positive way for Pokemon. It might not feel like it for some of those hardcore collectors that have 10 Moonbryons and 65 base set Shadowless Charizards, but I think to continue growing, right? Because as a business, they got to continue growing. They need to make some sort of decision that is going to retain people. Otherwise, people are just going to go right out the door, and we'll see you back at the 30th anniversary, I guess.
Yeah, I really see this new way of them doing things at this point, of turning a lot of people off and turning a lot of new collectors off, or maybe even people who came back in 2021 or 2022 or 2020, and they were having a good old time. And then now, again, it's just hits are less and worse, and cards are worth less. And I think it's a natural progression for them to have a big pop and then a huge steep drop off, because it's impossible to be number one forever. Eventually Muhammad Ali is going to lose in the ring. Eventually Michael Jordan's not going to win the championship, and it just happens. It's natural progression. But there are things that you can do to extend peaks, as opposed to, let's go hit that valley. Let's milk this peak until the valley comes, and then we'll worry about it then. So that's just our thoughts, guys. Let us know down in the comment sections. What do you think? about pull rates. What are things that you would do to make the Pokemon TCG feel a little bit more vibrant, feel better about unboxing? What do you think about our ideas? We try to reply to as many comments as you can down there. And here at Next Level TCG, we post Pokemon-related content 5 to 6 times per week here on the channel. So if you're into that sort of thing, make sure you guys drop a sub and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of your future updates. And if you enjoyed today's video, smash that like button. It really, really helps. It's 1 second for you, and we will literally have an eternity of gratitude for the rest of our lives, right? For just 1 second, just one, like,
oh yeah,
forever.
Yeah, the whole time, the rest of it.
My whole life. You there. I know you want to push that thumbs up. But anyway, guys, huge stuff. We're ready, hanging out, Pokemon all day. And if you want to level up, you got to be kind and you got to be yourself.